I am a registered nurse, and I have been a nurse for 15 years, and I live in Toronto, Ontario. I worked in a northern community in the ER, and I don't think the nurse that was orienting me knew I was Indigenous. There was one time we were seeing an Indigenous woman, and as part of her history, we had documented the deliveries, like the children she had. And she mentioned, just kind of offhandedly, how they always have lots of kids. And I was speechless. I felt kind of paralyzed. And I also didn't know what to say. How do you challenge people's thoughts, being the minority in this ER, in a place where there's so much racism against Native people? And I'll be honest, I still don't know what I could say that would address it, but in a good way. A year or two later, I was working in an ER in a city, and I was sitting with one of my favorite colleagues who was a Black nurse. She was lovely. Somehow we started talking about my background, and I told her I was Indigenous. She was shocked. She was amazed that I was doing so well as an Indigenous person, and I was educated and that I was successful. I wasn't too sure what it meant for her as somebody whose people have their own challenges and their own struggles, for her to be so amazed that I'm doing well. I have a hard time when people try to stereotype or block people into a certain box, because we don't all fit in those boxes. Francine Cunningham published this book maybe a little over a year ago. It's called On Me, and it is a book of poems about a lot of her experiences as an Indigenous woman. And the one that really stuck with me was the one about her mother's experiences in healthcare. When she got sick, really, really sick, she went to the hospital, and they didn't see the details in either. So used to fixing up the problem brown people, they didn't see the real her. So they sent her away, and so she came back again and again and again, and they always sent her away. Pneumonia. That's what they called her, lung cancer, until she couldn't breathe anymore, until it was stage 4 and in her back and brain, because by then they couldn't deny her anymore. They couldn't see her as a drunk Indian, someone to be forgotten, because they knew then it was the tumor in her brain, not her skin color, that was the problem. There's more to it. This poem is what inspired me to write this piece, because I felt like I couldn't keep it in anymore. I couldn't keep it inside. I needed to share. As challenging as it is, I am really grateful for this opportunity to share my experiences and Francine's poem, to have a wider audience for it. I had no idea when I submitted this piece in February what was going to transpire in mainstream media about racism, and it has all been very triggering, for sure, and really difficult to see. But I'm glad that we can be a little bit more open about our experiences, so people can have a bit of an understanding, and even if this changes the perceptions and practice of one person, I'll be happy.